In this video, I'm sharing a little parenting hack with you, and I'm going to explain the reward system that we use with our children. We've been parents for just shy of a decade. In a few short weeks, it will be an official decade. Our oldest is about to turn 10. So over that decade, we've tried out a lot of different ideas in terms of reward systems for our kids and different parenting techniques, styles, hacks, tips, tricks. We've read books, we've talked to other parents, and ultimately we have found a whole lot of things that did not work so well for our family and a few things that are working well. And this reward system is one of those things that is working well. So I want to share this reward system with you in hopes that it may be something that also works well in your home with your children. Now it is time to share the details related to our reward system that we use with our 3 children. Our children are 4.5, 7.5, and almost 10. I'm going to start off by saying that the supplies that I purchased in order to start this reward system were very inexpensive and easy to find, so that was an added bonus. I purchased each of these vases from the dollar store, so a total investment of $3 there. And then I also purchased these sort of flattened marbles from the dollar store, and I just made sure to choose 3 different colors. So Eli's marbles, we actually call them gems. So Eli's gems are green, Charlie has a pinkish purple set of gems, and Colin's are blue. When I purchased these gems, I got quite a few of them. So we have a whole bunch more here in this jar, and then I have this backup bag of gems. And this seems excessive, I'm sure, but when I purchased this, it was a very large amount of gems, and I ultimately didn't want our children to have to earn a ton of gems in order to have a reward. So when I said that this was our backup bag, it's if we want to increase the amount of gems that they need to earn, or if we lose some or they break, which in the couple of years that we have been doing this reward system, neither of those things have happened. But just in case any of that does occur, we have these backup gems that match the ones we already have, because with the dollar store, things might be in stock one moment and then they might change and you might never find the exact same thing again. So I just wanted the matching set. So these just get tucked away, and we really have never utilized the ones in this bag, but they're there in case we need them. Now this jar is something that I got from Target, and it just is a jar that I had around here when I started this reward system, and it was not currently in use. You could use whatever kind of storage vessel that you have around. And the gems that are not yet earned by the kids go into this jar. We store this jar separately from the 3 vases because we want to make sure that we're the ones who have access to this, and that when it is coming out, we're facilitating that for our children, just so that there's not the temptation to sneak any gems or anything like that. So this is stored in a slightly different location than the 3 vases, and our children know that when they earn gems, they have the choice to either put it in their vase on their own, or we can do that for them. Charlie and Colin are our younger 2, and they really enjoy us getting this jar down, opening the top, then being able to find their colored gem, and then putting it in their vase themselves. Eli, on the other hand, doesn't so much care to put his own gems in. He mostly just wants to know that he's earned them, and so he is fine with us putting them in for him. But I like to give them that option and that responsibility and ownership. Right now, what you are seeing is the live progress of the gem jars in our home at this present time. What we have opted to do with our gem jars is have Eli and Charlie earning slightly more gems than Colin to get to their final reward. Colin is younger, and his ability levels as well as his chores are lesser than that of his siblings. So Eli and Charlie both earn 50 gems before their reward, and Colin earns 40. We've been very clear with our children on our expectations of what they need to be doing in order to earn gems. If your child doesn't know how to earn gems to get to their big reward, then the system isn't going to be super effective. But we have been clear with our kids, and we have let them know what qualities we're really looking for, what actions are going to earn them gems. And sometimes we've even had like a challenge or a bonus situation where there's been a really specific characteristic or quality that we are wanting to reinforce at a given time, and so we will attach additional gems to it. So for example, in the past we've had kind of an honesty challenge where we really were focusing on honesty with one or more of our children, and we were able to say, for the next couple of weeks when we catch you being honest, you're going to earn double the gems or something of that nature. So we were able to tailor it to their specific needs at that moment in time. And then we can do the exact same thing with other qualities and traits as the need arises. So I love that about this system, that we are really able to give them what they need in that moment at that time. Another reason that this system has been great is because we can change the amount of gems that they need to earn as they age and as they develop and their ability levels change. So if we wanted to increase Colin to earning 50 gems just like his siblings, we have that backup bag of gems and we can take 10 more out of here, add them to this container, and then they would all be earning 50 gems. Or if we wanted to change things for Eli because he is almost 10 and we wanted to give him a larger reward, then with that might come needing to earn more gems than his younger siblings. So I will also add that all the way from 4.5 to almost 10, this reward system is working well for all three of our children. The buy-in is there for all three of them, and that is largely because of how we have structured it in that. And what I mean by that is they know the expectations of how to earn the gems, and they also know what their reward is. So that's the next piece I'm going to get into. The reward that we typically attach to the gems is a $10 spending spree anywhere they want on anything that they want, as long as it's appropriate and safe, of course. But once they have earned all 50 or 40 of their gems, they are able to spend $10 at Walmart, on Amazon, on toys, on clothes, on food. They can save their $10 and put it in their piggy bank. Whatever it may be that they want, they can take that $10 and do with it as they please. We do not have a system with our kids where we do allowances for chores and things like that. Instead, this is how we acknowledge their good choices and positive behavior, as well as give them a little bit of a monetary treat to look forward to and have the control over what that monetary treat is going to get them. So it's helping to instill in them several things all at once. Not only the characteristics that we're looking for in order to earn the gems, but then additionally, it's also instilling in them the responsibilities of earning money, spending money, or saving money, and just gets them a little bit used to money and handling money and having money that belongs to them and being 100% in control of what happens with that money. And that has worked really well for all three of our children. Another way that we have handled this in the past, because particularly for our younger two, at times the idea of having $10 at the end has not been sufficient. So what we have done to change things up is we've allowed them to pick an item in advance. So when they've earned all of their gems, we will dump their earned gems back into this vessel to be re-earned, and when they have a blank vase, we've said, go ahead, pick the item that you want, and we've made sure it's something that we know they're truly interested in so that their desire to have it is not going to disappear between the time that they start earning and the time that they finish earning their gems. But we've let them pick that item, and we have ordered it or bought it and brought it into our home and had it here, and they've known it's here, but that it is put away and does not come out until they have earned all of their gems. So having that item tangible and in front of them is a great way to keep them interested in this system when the $10 feels a little bit too ambiguous and not concrete enough. That's my tip or trick for younger children that you choose to use this system with. That hasn't been much of a benefit to Eli. Not to say that it wouldn't be for other older children, it might, but we have just noticed that Eli is just fine with earning his $10. That is always motivating to him, and so it works. But with Colin and Charlie, we need to change up the way that they earn a reward a little bit. So that is how we handle our gem jar system. It is pretty simple. It was very cost effective to get started. I did Cricut each of their names onto their vessels so that they could see them and know which one was theirs. Even if their names weren't there, they would know based on the color. We also always store them in birth order. So even if you don't have a Cricut or the ability to put their names onto their vases like this, there are other ways to keep them organized. You could also just attach a piece of string, a certain color piece of string around the top. So even if they don't have any gems in the jar and it's just a blank jar, vase, vessel, I've called it a whole lot of things, if it is just empty, you'd still know whose is whose. My last tip that I would recommend for this system is to keep these vases in a central location where not only yourself, but also your children are going to see them often. That is a twofold strategy. One is that it reminds our children that they're working toward earning gems, and it helps them to see their gems and be motivated to add to the ones that are already there. And the second part of that is that it reminds my husband and I to make sure that we are awarding gems and keeping them enticed in this process. We have had times where we have forgotten about, not been diligent about handing out gems, and we are really the controllers of how much these guys care about this strategy. If we don't show that we care about it, and if we are not invested and making it a priority, then they're not going to do that either. So by keeping it in a central location, we see it daily. We keep it in our kitchen, on our counter. And by seeing it daily like that, it reminds us as the parents to stay up to date with the gem system. And it also reminds our kids that this is where you're at and keep pushing yourself to continue to earn gems. And the last thing I'll say about our gem jars is that they have actually been of educational benefit to a couple of our children. And this was something that I had not anticipated or planned, but was an added bonus. So Colin and Charlie have both been doing this gem system since they were quite young. And when Charlie started, she was learning to count. And dumping her gems out onto the table or another surface and counting the gems that she had already earned proved to be a fantastic way for her to practice her counting skills. And now that exact same thing is happening with Colin, who is in pre-K and actively working on his counting skills. So added bonus there, we got an educational element out of this strategy as well. So as I mentioned in the intro, this strategy works super well for all of our children, all of the age ranges we have going on. And I hope that it might be a strategy that will be effective in your home with your children as well. If you have any questions about this strategy, if there's anything that I didn't cover in this video, leave any questions in the comments. I will be sure to answer them. Also, if you have any other strategies that work well for your children and you want to share those in the comments, that would be helpful because we can always learn from each other. And having all these ideas in one place makes it extra easy to have a variety of options that might work for us. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.